Hello, welcome back. This is CoinPig. This is the theme for today. It's the Change Checkout Scarcity Index, and that was released yesterday based on the figures for the 4th of February 2020. We'll start with the 50p Scarcity Index. That is basically showing there are a number of changes, not spectacular changes in the main. Some of the newer coins, for instance, last year haven't changed a great deal, but there are one or two surprises. The Team GB dropping 12 places, for instance. So Britannia's also gone up, Ironside's gone up, Scout's gone up, but they're all fairly common coins. So with Team GB, that's surprising because obviously there's a new Team GB for 2020, and perhaps that has got confused, I don't know. But there's no spectacular rises or spectacular falls, I don't think overall. Quite a few of them have stayed roughly the same. As I said, the newer coins, People Act for instance, that's not moved, that's still very common and consequently hasn't really changed. Fencing did go up quite a bit, but Peter Rabbit, for instance, didn't. And same with Flopsy Bunny, even though it's the scarcest. Mrs. Tittlemouse dropped a couple of places. Nothing spectacular. Taylor of Gloucester just basically hasn't moved. Paddington at the station, well, both the Paddingtons have sort of become established basically towards the bottom of the table of the Scarcity Index, but Paddington at the station has dropped a bit, Paddington at Palace hasn't. But weirdly, I find Paddington at the station is more in demand than Paddington at Palace. So there's the information about the Scarcity Index and what's happened really. As I say, the 2018 Beatrix Potter 50p is in their collection. Flopsy Bunny and Peter Rabbit, they proved sought after, but hasn't really affected their position on the table. Then we'll look at the 10p table. This is the Scarcity Index for 10p's, also done for the 4th of February. Of course, the top is still Bond. I think that will be number one for a while. T, NHS and Robin, very high. Zebra Crossing, Yeoman Waller, World Wide Web, also very sought after. World Wide Web and Stonehenge there have actually gone up quite a significant number of places actually. English Breakfast has actually come down significantly, as well as Cricket. So I don't find many of these coins, as most people don't, so it's very difficult for one person to get an understanding of what's out there and what's required, what's desirable. I think generally speaking, not a lot has changed, but there's been a lot of shuffling around, and it depends on the area of the country that you're in as to which is the most sought after as well. This Scarcity Index, certainly for the 10p's, doesn't really take that into account really, because at the bottom of the list, post box is the least scarce according to this list. Bond is the most scarce, but none of them are at 1. King Arthur, post box are the 2 least scarce, if you like. Some of these other ones like Union Jack and Ice Cream, they've actually gone up quite a bit, but generally they're in the mid-range. Quite a few of them have gone down. House of the Parliament's gone down, as to Fish and Chips and Double Decker Bus, for instance. One of the sharpest fallers is Q. It's all, again, depending on where you live as well, as to which one you can't find basically. So it's tricky to find, as they say here. You can pause to read that if you want. And the biggest movers, as I say, W for World Wide Web, and S for Stonehenge both move up the index by 14 places. S for Stonehenge actually dropped 14 places in the previous index, so it's just regaining its place, basically. There's the £2 index then. So the £2 index, not a massive amount of change, really. The Commonwealth Games still at the top there. They're still in amongst that as the Olympic handover, and I don't quite understand why that's so high compared with the Commonwealth Games, especially Wales, for instance, because obviously that one is the second rarest in terms of mintage figures. Perhaps people in Wales don't really know about it, or perhaps they don't collect it, I don't know. Not a great deal of change in the £2, sorry. So 50p's are by far the most common request from people collecting coins. There's details on how the index works, and obviously I should point out that the scarcity index doesn't necessarily mean that a coin's worth a lot, although they tend to be more valuable at the top of the list than they are at the bottom. And also it doesn't include the £1 coins. £1 coins has a separate scarcity index, although I disagree with their assumption that because they're no longer being issued, it means that it's set in stone. That's not true. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment and share. Not necessarily in that order. Don't forget also I have a Twitter and Instagram account. So thanks very much for tuning in. I'll see you again next time.